I've organized 2 school carnivals with zero stress, and today I'm sharing my favorite tips. But first, some context. Carnival is a fundraising event put on by my children's school's Parent Advisory Committee, also known as PAC. Like I said, it's a fundraising event, and I volunteered to be the lead organizer in 2024 and 2025. Both years, Carnival was attended by over 500 people. There were 4 planning committees and parent volunteer planners. I'm presenting my tips in 4 sections: before committing to putting on a big event, during the planning phase, on the day of, and after the event. So, before committing to organizing a big event, 1, this is really important, assess your personal time and energy. Are you a postpartum mother with a newborn? Do your elderly parents require care? Have you just started a new position at work? If so, these are not really the best times to volunteer to put on a big event. Clarify the expectations of 3 parties: yourself, the people you report to, and your volunteers. So, starting with yourself, ask yourself what outcomes you hope for this event. Because Carnival is a fundraising event, I told myself that my outcome was to not lose money. Therefore, even if Carnival only made 1 cent, I still met my own personal expectations. 2, the people who you report to. Carnival was overseen by the fundraising co-heads. They communicated their hopes of X number of dollars to be raised from the event. Having this concrete number was very helpful for me to be able to gauge whether I was not yet meeting or exceeding expectations. 3, having clarity on the expectations of your volunteers. I am not exaggerating when I say that I expect nothing of volunteers for 2 reasons. 1, they are volunteering. They're volunteering their time. They're volunteering their energy. They're volunteering their talents. Every effort that a volunteer makes warrants gratitude. The second reason I don't expect anything of volunteers is because life happens, and when it does, as lead organizer, it is so much easier for me, if I expect nothing of volunteers, to lean into empathy and say, it's all good. You focus on what you need to focus on. Carnival will continue on. Tips for the planning phase. Have 1 person be the lead or the head for efficiency. This eliminates conferring with another person about every decision made. It also eliminates, if you forgot to confer with the other person, no offense is taken, no harm is done. It does make the responsibility more on that 1 person, but I think it's more of an effective way to organize a big event like this. This is my favorite tip for the planning phase. Ensure that meeting agenda number 1 is always set the next meeting date. Pull out your calendars, set the next date, and it can always be canceled if it's deemed unnecessary. Later always comes in super fast and super hot. I actually still recommend this even if I'm working on a solo organizing project, so that the time for those tasks is accounted for. Assign projects as much as possible. For example, Michelle, can you please create and print letters of solicitation and solicit at stores A, B, and C and report back? Or Kelly, can you please create, print, and display all the materials for musical cakes? A natural deadline has already been set because the next meeting date has already been set. And to clarify, the next meeting date wasn't necessarily the deadline to complete the task, but the expectation was that a report would be shared on the current status. This next one makes me laugh, but it was peace of mind for me. So, recruit, if possible, if I go into a coma backup person. And I laugh because in 2024, I used to call this position if I die backup person, and it landed poorly with everybody around me. So I changed it to if I go into a coma. Jana was my person, and like I said, this was just for peace of mind. Jana and I met 2 weeks out from the event, and it was a transfer of all information to date and a review of how the whole event would run. And after that meeting, Jana was BCC'd on everything, so she was kept in the loop. Tips for the day of. If you ignore every other tip in this video, I hope that this is the one tip that lands. Commit to nothing as much as possible on the day of the event. Delegate as much as you can on the day of. That eliminates you from being tied up so that you are available for when unanticipated problems come up. I know every detail of the entire operation, and so I am the most versatile and resourceful problem solver of the event. Anything unanticipated, it should come to me. Have a buffet of supplies and materials that volunteers can help themselves to. I called it that exactly, the buffet of materials, including the master binder that was organized in alphabetical order. So in case anybody needed anything, it was high likelihood that they could find it in my master binder. On my table, I had packing tape, masking tape, gaffer tape, lots of tape, and rope, heavy duty scissors, zap straps, markers, a lot of Sharpies, food handling gloves, Ziploc bags, water, both drinkable and non-drinkable. I even brought my drill and my driver to have at my station. I just didn't know if I might need it. And when volunteers knew that that table, they could help themselves to anything on it, they were able to solve many of their problems on their own. After the event, account for post-event tasks. This was big learning for me from 2024 to 2025. In 2024, I did not account for all of the post-event resetting and processing. So this year, I actually accounted for 2 weeks of it. And realistically, I'm still going through all of the tasks, and I'm just slowly working through all the things that need to be done based on urgency. For example, I completed all of the accounting shortly after Carnival because I needed to submit receipts for reimbursement, and I also wanted to present at the PAC meeting the profits of Carnival. But a lot of the materials still haven't been reset because it's not as urgent. Debrief meetings are very valuable. I'm really grateful that in 2024, I had taken very careful notes of how much we had in terms of perishable leftovers, and that informed how much we purchased in 2025, and leftovers were negligible. That was very valuable. I'm Romina, and thanks for sharing your time today.